And now it's time to catch up with our local horticulturist, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning, Thurston. How are you today?
Yeah, very good, very good. It's beautiful weather out there, and it's a nice day to get in the garden, isn't it?
Well, that's it. It's nice and cool yesterday, but I think we've gone from summer straight into winter. It's got that cold so quickly.
I know. Next few days is not too bad, though. It's quite steady, and then it starts a bit of rain on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think we've had quite a bit of rain.
Yeah, well, you've just been over to Japan for their spring.
Yes, we're over there for 2 weeks. We flew back Easter Tuesday, so I think we flew back and they've had all the big rain here while we were away.
Yes, you missed that, which was probably a good thing. So, how was it?
It was beautiful. Yeah, we had lots of different types of weather. We had rain, snow, sunshine, so it was a bit of everything. Yeah,
and there was, I think while you were away, there was an earthquake in Taiwan.
That was after I got back.
Oh,
yes, so luckily it didn't have any aftershocks or anything.
Yeah.
But, we got to see a very clear Mount Fuji while we were there, which was lovely.
Yeah, it would have been beautiful.
Yeah, it was stunning. And not chasing the cherry blossom around. So we saw some. It's at its peak now, and in some areas it's going over past peak.
Yeah.
But got enough to get some good photos.
It's meant to be exceptional because we get blossoms here, but is it another level over there?
The trees, what I couldn't get over is how old they were. The ones in Tokyo, they're massive girth to them. They're very old trees, and they're still pruning them to make them flower. But no, beautiful.
So they know a bit about manuring.
Yes, they're spending a lot of money, I think, on all the fertilisers to blossom properly. But you could see the dogwoods are about to pop open as well. And on the roadside, where we would have wattles and eucalypts, they've got beautiful white magnolias just all blooming in line down the highways. It was beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, so it's everywhere. It's not just in the... Because you went to... Was this mostly in Tokyo, or were you other places?
All the way through Japan.
Oh, right.
Right down to Osaka as well.
Oh, yes.
Each part has different plants, but the cherry blossom is right through the country. But, of course, like us, different temperatures, different areas will blossom at different times.
So it's a sight to behold.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is stunning. But I think if I went back, I'd go back in autumn because I could see all the Japanese maples just starting to come into green leaf. So you just know how beautiful it will be during the autumn with all the different colours. Yeah.
Did you fly direct to Tokyo from here?
We went to Osaka.
Oh, yeah.
So we went via Singapore to Osaka. But you can go via Cairns and then go to Tokyo.
All right, yeah.
So there's no direct from Melbourne anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Years ago, it was about 8 years ago, we flew straight from Melbourne to Tokyo. But now it goes via Cairns. You stop over for a couple of hours.
Oh, yeah, because all the tourists go there, don't they?
It's just the way that the airplanes do their routes now.
Yeah.
But no, it was lovely.
Excellent. I'm sure you'd go again, wouldn't you, too?
Oh, yeah, it's worth going.
I think it's one of your favourite places, isn't it?
It is. And I could see the big old peony bushes that had been planted in the 1950s. They were coming into leaf. So it was just the beginning of spring, so it was lovely to see.
So basically, if people wanted to plant blossom trees here, this is not the right time, is it, to do it?
No, well, it's the right time to plant it, and then you'll get the blossom in early spring.
Okay, yeah.
So you can get blossom on all your fruiting trees. They're ones that they're known for are the ornamental cherries, but all your fruit trees, and especially your cherries and plums, will give you some beautiful blossom. So if you plant them in autumn and winter, then you'll have them ready and they'll come burst out and blossom in early spring.
And does the blossom have another? Can you do anything with it, or is it just to look nice, or can you actually break it down and use it as a perfume, or eat it, or?
No, it's just looks nice.
Yeah, it just looks nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of it's double blossom, but if you've got a non-ornamental, the blossom then becomes the fruit. Once the petals fall off, the fruit is left behind to grow.
Ah, so there is a fruit with it. Okay.
Fruit. Sorry?
There's a fruit with it.
The fruiting trees will. These are ornamental, so they don't fruit. It's just a flower. And you can buy ornamental plums and cherries. Like your weeping cherry, that's just an ornamental cherry.
Yep.
It doesn't get proper fruit on it.
All right.
So, but if you want a cherry tree, you get the blossom and the fruit, you can do that too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, excellent. So,
The time to plant that.
yeah. So it is autumn now, and what's the plan then for what should people be doing if they want to get in the garden today?
Well, it's time to plant your garlic.
Uh-huh.
So get your veggie garden beds up, or allocate one section for your garlic, and it's time to plant that so that it's ready to harvest in summer.
Yeah, so you really got to, as we said this before, you have to think between 3 and 6 months ahead if you want something to work out.
Yeah, but garlic takes a long time, and now is it's a perfect time to plant it. So you can buy proper certified garlic bulbs that you break apart, and like you would with cooking, you break them into little segments.
Yeah.
You don't take the outer skin off, and just plant that in about 4 centimetres down.
Right.
And that takes a long time, but you've got to plant it now.
Yeah.
It's worth doing.
Yeah, well, garlic, you can't beat it. I mean, it's one of the main ingredients in cooking, isn't it?
It's one of the main, I think it should have its own food group. It's so good for you too.
It is.
And also all the autumn planting bulbs to flower in spring. It's time to do that now.
Yep.
So if you want all your daffodils, tulips, anemones, ranunculus, it's time to plant them in now. And that's what I was seeing all flowering in big garden beds in Japan. So maybe remember, when I get back, I've got to plant it.
Because they're actually 6 months behind us, ideally, but yes, they're...
Yeah, so they're in their early spring. So look there and go, that's right, we've got to plant that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was going to ask you a little bit about fruit trees, because I had a grapefruit tree which I put in about 10 years ago, and it used to follow a rhythm where you had grapefruits in the winter, and then suddenly last year it started doing its own thing. Like, it didn't really have any fruit in the winter. It went on to spring, and then in the summer they were just getting them off, and now it's starting to fruit again. And I don't know when the right time is to prune it or to look after it. So I just wanted to see your thoughts on that.
Okay, with the citrus, make sure you give them a good feed, so it encourages growth and fruit, and high potassium food as well, which will encourage the flowers. Last year was a strange season for a lot of things, especially citrus. But if you can prune pretty much any time you want.
Oh, you can, right.
With those, because they're not one of the dormant fruit trees.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to be taking off too much flowering, if it's flowering at the moment.
Yeah.
But you can be quite severe with citrus trees, and they will grow back.
Right.
You've got to be a bit more careful with the stone fruit trees. But citrus, you can be very severe.
Same with lemons, and obviously they're the same family.
Same thing, yeah. Oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruit, mandarins. So you can prune back, especially if it's too big for you, or the tree's got too big.
Yep.
And it sometimes gets too big. It has too much fruit that it can't cope with.
Exactly.
And sometimes that will shed fruit and drop it. So you can give it a light prune now, or you can wait until after it's fruited.
All right, okay. Yeah, no, that's good advice. I'm glad to hear that you can do it at any time, within reason, obviously. Yeah.
Wouldn't do the citrus in the middle of winter, because if you do get a new growth, you might get a little bit of frost burn on that.
Yeah.
But most of the rest of the time.
Yeah, so now is a good time then.
Now's a good time, and after it's fruited is a good time.
Yep.
When it's finished fruiting, then you can see, what you need to cut back.
Excellent.
But all the fruit trees that are deciduous, like your apples, pears, plums, and cherries and all that, winter's the best time to prune them.
Yep. Same with your vines and all that too. When everything's completely off the root.
See the structure and see what branches are crossing over from each other and dead branches. But with them, you only cut back about 20%.
Yes, that's a couple of months away yet then.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. You can give everything good feed now.
Yep.
And you can cut back roses. Not not your big winter prune, but you can cut it back. Some of them get another flush through autumn. Depends on how cold it gets.
Yeah, because you should be able to get 2 lots of roses a year, shouldn't you?
Depending on the variety, repeat flowering ones will flower again in autumn. So give them a cut back, and especially if they've got a bit of stress from all that hot weather and a bit of burning, cut them back now, give them a feed and give them a flush of new growth again.
Excellent. No, that's good. And have there been anyone coming in with any particular issues since you got back from your trip?
There's been a lot of people with lawn grub.
Lawn grub?
A lot of the time they think it's the corellas and cockatoos are eating the grub. There's a difference. The corellas will come and eat the fresh roots of your lawn and rip it all up.
Yeah.
But if it's the bigger birds like magpies, crows, if they're digging the lawn and getting the curl grubs out, and you'll get dead patches in the lawn from the curl grub themselves, that's a bit of a problem.
Will that fill in the springtime when the grass starts growing properly?
If you get rid of the curl grub, yeah, you can notice so, but you can use natural ways to get rid of the curl grub. There's a product that's got eucalyptus and tea tree oil in it, and you can just spray that on your lawn, and that will kill the curl grubs because they give you that black beetle. Right,
so you have to spray it throughout the whole lawn, not just in the isolated areas where
Well, you could try in the isolated areas where the dead patches are.
Yeah.
But usually you'll have it through the whole lawn, so it will stop the other dead patches coming along if you kill the grub.
Right, that's a good one. I'm glad I asked that one. It's something unusual.
There's so many things around that like to chew and eat it, the lawns and plants.
And they just live below the surface, do they?
Yeah, those are little white curl grubs.
Right.
You see them. If you've got chooks, they love to get in and get them.
Oh, yeah.
But they'll also rip up your lawn too.
That'd be like a Sunday lunch for them.
Yeah. They do enjoy it. And there's a lot of slugs and snails around at the moment too with all the rain. Again, you can use the iron-based, more natural products to get rid of them.
Actually, I was cutting down a tree yesterday and there was some witchy grubs inside them. And I was showing my little nephew, he's only 6, he says, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, you can eat these if you want," because they're very juicy.
You'd have to know exactly which ones you could eat.
I know, you probably have to cook them a little bit first. Yeah, because they actually bore through the trees, don't they, as well? Yeah, that's what you see there'll be sawdust in the holes where they're living because they're chewing the inside. Yeah, because they're not actually, they don't wait for it to be hollow, they create the hollow. Exactly. Yeah. That's what's making it hollow. Yeah. And you'll see when you cut down an old wattle tree, you'll have all these holes and furrows through it. Yeah. And that's one of the boring grubs as well. It's amazing because you can have a beautiful tree and they can ruin it within a couple of years. Yeah, and that's what I just say to people. They see sawdust coming out, see if you can put a bit of wire in and see if you can catch a grub. Yep. And that's usually the problem with it. Wow, I know. Yeah. No, that's good, Kathy. You've really given us some things to think about today. It is a nice day to be out in the garden. Yep. I've got to work today. Yep. So I'll try and do some when I get home because it's time to plant all your leafy greens. So that's always a good vegetable to have growing. Yes, definitely. So that's your is that your cabbages as well? And your cabbages and your broccoli and your cauliflowers and your kales, but also like your spinach too. Mm. And if you like the root vegetables, and your turnips and carrots and parsnips and all that. Yep. Great time to do it, yep. Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll catch up with you again in early May. Yeah, it goes very fast. Yes, it does. Sure does. All right, have a good day, Kathy, and thanks for talking to us. You too, Thurston. Cheers for now.